Alright. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another episode of VVL Podcast Social Commentary, weekly roundup on social and current affairs. That's what we do it right here on a Saturday. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm your boy Andrew Vala. Soon come on screen. Don't worry about it. Just giving you guys enough time to tune in. Also, please go ahead and share this live link on your pages right about now. You also can share it on Facebook if you're watching in on Facebook. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you're watching in on YouTube, thank you guys so much. If you're watching in Jamaica on Hype TV, thank you so much. How you picture entertainment in Jamaica and across the Caribbean. I'm your boy Andrew Val, and tonight we have an interesting show lined up for you. We have Shelling Shells in the building, and of course, you know, the big man himself, Gio, real Jamaican. So tonight we'll be talking about charity and politics in Jamaica, scam and pseudo empathy under the guise of being charitable. We also have some social commentary for you, the woes of the FLA, and also new money, new dollars, new budget. All of these and more coming up right here on the podcast. I'm your boy Andrew Val. Welcome to VVL Podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If this is your first time tuning in, I welcome you all to join the family. Go ahead and, of course, send us that subscription. Hit the subscription button, of course. Hit the notification bell, so that you'll be notified whenever we go live on YouTube. And if it's your first time watching in on Facebook, we encourage you to follow my page. Thank you guys so much. Tonight, we have so much to talk about. Peace. I'm your boy Andrew Val. Big respect and thank you so much. Of course, you know, it's call to action. Go ahead and share this right about now. Share this on your page. I'm your host for tonight, and my co-host, Shelling Shells. Of course, you don't know, always holding it down with us on a Saturday and also on a Wednesday. Real Jamaican coming to you straight out of Europe. Thank you guys so much. David McLeod, thank you so much. And of course, you don't know, the entire Jamaica Issues crew members. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Carla Williams, I see you in the building tonight. We have a very interesting show lined up for you. I hope that you guys will definitely participate. We want to hear from you as well. So we might do a little call in, and we might have you guys just, you know, throw your 2 cents in. Let's invite the crew right now in the building. Gio, Shelling. That's not an echo. That's not a reverb. It's on purpose. Wagwan, guys, welcome.
Nah, go on. They don't know about you, me just there.
Yeah. And I hear that you're having party next door. I can hear the
As usual on a Saturday.
Of course, you do. All right. Yeah.
Too early still, you know?
Too early. Wagwan, Gio. All right, Gio looks like he's freezing up. I'm not sure what's going on with Gio right here.
Funny, the best thing that happened today, so everywhere we go today, them that play reggae music.
That's good. Gio, I think Spain's Wi-Fi service.
Like I have a delay.
Yeah, you do have a delay. So what I'm going to do is to ask you to just jump back in, you know, just to sort out your Wi-Fi issue. But anyhow, Christine Ryan, good night and welcome to another episode of VAL'S Views Live. So Shelling Shells, we have social views tonight. And of course, you know, so much to talk about. And also we'll be talking about this burning issue because we've seen it recently where Delano Tucker video came out and all of a sudden everybody wants to, you know, donate and contribute, but we're going to be talking about that later on. The main topic for tonight, guys, is charity and politics in Jamaica, scamming, and pseudo empathy, aka when we say pseudo empathy, really and truly in, you know, the layman terms, fake empathy, people who pretend as if they care, and when they make their contributions because of the likes and attention. Do you agree that every charity contribution should be published in the media? Those are the questions. That's the main discussion for tonight. Charity and politics in Jamaica. But before we get into that, we have a few topics that we want to discuss. Shells, I'm sure you are aware of the Trafigura matter. Trafigura matter is now in Supreme Court. And in fact, they're asking for the court to pretty much give former Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller a pass. Also, the big man himself, Mr. Paulwell, says that he can't recall. Then another minister says that, you know, the money was returned. So I am not sure what's going on. Guys, it is now time for social views. We're just going to touch on these topics real quick, and then we get into our main discussion. Of course, if it's your first time watching VVO, we try to do a recap of what happened in the news for the past week, and then we get into our main discussion. Shells, I'll go over to you first. What's your reaction to the Trafigura case? Do you think anything will, come out of this, or is it just another thing that will be swept under the rug? And if they're found guilty, then if they're not yet resigned, they'll ask to be resigned. What's your take?
That's what I feel like. Like it's just something else, and that nothing else will come from. Honestly, and that's the reason why I would love to pay it a lot more attention, but just seem to me like there's so many things coming out that have came out and nobody pays any penalty for anything. They just, media pick it up, run with it. It's a great sensational story. And then at the back end, nothing comes of it. That's my issue. And I feel like I'll be wasting brain space and my breath talking about it, because at the end, it just be another story,
It's just, I agree. It's just another story. But Gio, what I want to ask you though, do you think that it is fair for them to actually give the former Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller a pass because of her illness?
No, if you kill a man and the police find you in your 80 and DNA evidence say you killed the man and walk and sit, them still prosecute you. So what a big deal. As far as I'm concerned, anybody, if at all, because we know so these things are just spectacle, really, it's just political theater. But if at all anybody was found guilty of anything, I personally feel like they should do prison time. Fact of the matter is, this is just standard procedure. Everybody are gonna just get to score some points off all of the talking, little talking points where I'm gonna bill out or whatever this is. That'll just be a game again. I mean, at least down there, them actually put some attention point, but only because, like I said, nobody even that push for something come out, and only because like the matter international, why it even come down to somebody will talk to about what one.
Right.
But at the end of the day, Jamaica and a standard procedure.
I mean, I totally agree with you guys, because at the end of the day, and just so that for our viewers who haven't been, keeping up with what's happening with, what's going on with the Trafigura case, I think a few years ago, Trafigura gave a donation, a political donation based on reports. It is alleged that they gave political donation to the PNP when they were actually running for election. I think I don't remember the year, but the long and short of it is that, a Dutch company pretty much started, or Dutch authorities started investigating that there could be some form of corruption that took place, because there's supposed to not to be kickbacks or bribery or anything of that sort when it comes to political parties in the Dutch country and also in Jamaica as well. So now they are supposed to be going to court to answer to the Dutch authorities few questions they have if there's some form of corruption on their part. But of course, it sounds a little bit stink. Honestly, it sounds a little bit stink that a lot of these ministers are now saying, oh, we don't remember, or whatever money that was contributed to the PNP at the time, it was returned by XYZ. Guys, it is stink. But anyhow, let's move on. I want to talk about this particular issue, guys. And this is the FLA woes that's been taking place in Jamaica for the past couple of weeks. We've been experiencing a lot of back and forth in the media, especially with Baby Mother 30, as he dubbed her, and of course the former FLA boss. But Peter Bunting is now smacked in the middle of this. And Peter Bunting was, I think, throwing a lot of stones when the current head of the FLA was asked to resign. Now, Robert Montague resigned just yesterday. Letter was published by the Office of the Prime Minister. But before we get into the resignation side of it, it doesn't look good for Peter. You know what I mean? And he's distancing himself from all of this. But as Gio says, you see, I'm kind of accustomed to talking to Shells and Chaddy. But as Gio says that nothing, and Shell says it as well, that nothing will come out of this if these people are, found guilty. And that's the thing. So I really don't know. I really don't know where to start. Put aside Meadows. Let's talk about Senator Bunting and Robert Montague, who has just recently resigned. It doesn't look good. Another thing that will be swept under the rug, guys. Do you think that anything will come from this situation, or it's just another, hey, media spectacle, and that's it? Gio, I'll start with you.
Oh, okay, cool. So think about it this way. A homeless man in Jamaica almost spent months in prison for picking khaki on the Governor General's property. Whereas this brother writes to every other person who's ever been caught up on anything in our politics. I've never, let me not put it too far. Current actually used the money that he stole himself in court until he go to jail. So yeah, he actually saw the court. He just didn't go to jail. Use the same money. But yeah, they're not come out of it. But him name, VAL'S, he never give himself how much acres of land for $10,000 a month, and then put him in the Prime Minister's office and then put him back on the ballot in the election cycle so the people could have voted him back in again to say, yeah, the people are trusting him. Like, I'm come to political affairs in Jamaica and I feel like, I would tell you, politics in Jamaica is a social club for elites who save their kids for their children and their children's children. I don't know how we concern ourselves about.
I mean, I agree. And Shells, I turn it over to you now. Shells, what's your take? And I'm sure you're probably going to echo the sentiments of Gio. Shells, I'm not hearing you. Somehow I'm not hearing you, Shells. All right, while she'll sort of her audio. All right, guys, I want to hear from you, our viewers, in the meantime. So let me run over to the comment section to see, who in the building. Tariq Zadi, Wagwan, my brother, big respect. Keisha Nicole, thank you. David McLeod, thank you so much for tuning in. Stephen, aka DJ Rudy, in the building. And of course, I want to just kind of, step back a little bit, Gio and Shells, just for a quick moment to highlight this comment from Tariq. And I'm kind of multitasking right now. And we we did cover the Portia story. I know we're on the FLA woes, but he says that Portia, fun and jokes aside, it may be actually, a sign of how ill she is. And I agree with that. You know what I mean? I think, and I didn't want to say it because it hasn't really come to the public or to the fore that she's actually, have some form of dementia. But it is a known thing in the circle, in that social club, Gio, that Portia can't remember certain things. And it has set in from she was prime minister. And it kind of, it has gotten worse over the years. And, so I don't know why you're chuckling, but I don't find, I'm not thinking you're laughing.
You know what? I'm not trying to make light of it, but the funny thing is, I just remembered when she was doing that interview and she lifted up the bang and said, I'm just saying, they should have thought it was bad from them. They should have probably said she had something wrong from them. I'm just saying.
Well, they were kind of actually playing on her intellect from they've been playing on Portia's intellect. So now, they're actually, and I think I was having a discussion with somebody, a conversation with somebody recently, and they mentioned it, and this person, I trust their information that she's not doing so well. So I can understand. Then again, this is Jamaica that we're talking about, and politics is usually swept a thing, people are never, beheld accountable. People are never, face the court. People are never asked to, especially politicians are asked to, dance to the music. So at the end of the day, I don't know, but I'm not here to make light of her situation. I'm just trying to highlight that comment from Tariq, which is a very good comment as well. If you guys want to participate, I encourage you to call us 347-779-7377. Gio, I'm not sure if you can put that in the comment section. Can I put it in the comment section? 347-779-7377. Guys, I'm trying. All right, there we go. 347-779-7377. And I wish I could pin it. But hey, Guys, I want to hear from you. David McClough says Portia lawyer needs to come out to the public and state her condition. I mean, I won't push for that. I guess when the time is right, they'll do that. But another good point, you know what I mean? Especially in this time, you know, that this case is actually, you know, now being tried. If I did something wrong, I'd be held accountable even if I'm ill. I'm just saying, I agree. And I think Gio said that. If a man who commits a crime 20 years ago, I know he's blind and, you know, he's paralyzed from the
Bill
waist
Cosby.
and
Bill
move,
Cosby.
you know, they're
Bill
going
Cosby.
to charge him. So I don't see why she would get, I guess because dementia is different than, you know, being physically not capable.
Yeah,
So
mental illness is totally different. Like if you're gonna come out and say the person is now mentally ill, then sure, that's fine. But if you're Bill Cosby and you're blind,
but
proof is
dementia,
still there for you.
but wouldn't it be that dementia would be considered a part of that on that spectrum as well, Gio?
No, man, dementia is a mental illness. Dementia means that you have a degradation of your mental faculties and you probably will not be a reliable person to put on the stand.
But hold on, isn't it still considered that because you're sick? You're ill?
No, I'm not just sick. It's your mental acuity that they question. Now, if you're sick, so imagine then you get the flu, you get a fever, and then them say, boy, you know, I'm too sick to come in a court today. That means you're not gonna come in a court at any point in time because you have a fever.
But they need to rely on her mental state, which is her memory. You get where I'm coming from?
Which is why dementia would disqualify her. If they came out and said yes, she has dementia, that would disqualify her from prosecution because a person who cannot defend themselves can't be prosecuted based on how the law set up. Right? However, if I just sick, she's sick, that no count for nothing. If she's just Bill Cosby and blind, that no count for nothing. You still got to prison. Then we send Bill Cosby to prison.
All right. Let's move on to the story that we covered earlier. Thank you, Gio. Tariq says that Bunton and Montague will be actually vindicated. Meadows is the only one who might actually be charged, looking in the wrong direction, if you ask me. Not one of the allegations in the integrity report speaks to anyone taking a bribe. That's another big story right now. And I personally feel like Montague resigning, I think, is just another way of saying, hey, I stepped down, just like our good friend, Mr. Green. Hey, I stepped down. You know what I mean? The greatest thing about the GLP is that they're very good at PR. And Andrew will force you to resign so it looks good in the public. As opposed to the PNP back in the day, these people are still sitting in parliament, still holding their positions. But hey, is, you know, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. You resigning doesn't say anything. So you're not better than the PNP. It's just that you're better now at, you know, creating this PR stunt. So this on your screen right now, guys, you're seeing a statement made by the Prime Minister, you know, accepting the resignation from Robert Montague. And it's just a very short thing. There's nothing else to it. And Gio, a lot of Jamaicans are saying, hey, come next week, he might be put in a different position.
Exactly. He might be working in the office of the Prime Minister and still collecting a hefty 6-figure salary at the end of the year. Nobody really knows. When you think about the resignation in this nature, it's almost akin to someone being put on the stand in the US and them saying, you know, I plead the fifth. You know?
Right.
Invoking the fifth, which prevents them from self-incrimination. Like, that's all that looks like to me in this particular case. Like, and you have to remember, you know, most of these people, generally speaking, politicians in Jamaica, like, them not just sit down on them and just sign up. Them not just sit up on when him resign, him already have something else set up on their background already. I mean, I kind of like, even though I'm not trying to burst nobody bubble, but everybody know Damian Crawford. Damian Crawford himself did know, say, this ship never even they look too good. So he pulled a few strings and he could have pulled for himself and get for him egg operation where him start run business out there because he knows he never got, you know, it never look too swell for him. So he make sure he get where he could get out there and then cut. Him not for business but everybody else again.
Do you think that Bunting, the fact that his name got called up in, you know, these allegations, do you think that he should actually do the right thing and even to resign or step aside for the moment, step out of being, you know, a member of the Senate?
Listen, I mean, me and you know, say the right answer is yes, right? In America, as soon as allegations befall anybody in the Congress or whatnot, them, well, minus since Donald Trump era still, because them people, them not take no step in nothing. But before that, you get caught out. I mean, one little investigative report and somebody says something where them feel like saying they look too good in the optics, and them say, no, you have to go on, and you go on with your business.
I mean, I think it's just another way of saying, hey, look, we give you what you want, because we normally play the song, yeah, we give them what we want. Yes, we give them. That's pretty much what Andrew Holness is doing with his administration. And of course, Jamaicans for Justice, they're now calling on the opposition leader, Mark Golding, to ask Mr. Bunting to step aside until the investigation completes. You know what I mean? So I personally feel like them resigning or not resigning is neither here nor there for me, because if you're not going to, if it is alleged that they are actually, a part of the corruption at the FLA, and if they're found guilty, Gio, you and I know that they're just gonna get a slap on the wrist and nothing is gonna, come off this, and that's just the part that gets me a little.
If it was me and you, and there was no politics involved in it, we would be looking at double-digit jail time just because of what happened. Regular people, I mean, we would be going to prison in a matter of months for the same crimes that these people, and I'll just put air quotes, commit, because obviously nobody's been convicted. But we would be doing jail time if there was no political affiliation whatsoever. Yeah, it's sad, but what can we do?
I agree. All right, let's run over to the comment section because we're interacting tonight. Thank you guys for your comments. Thank you, Tanette, for tuning in. Guys, if you haven't yet shared this on your pages, go ahead and share it. Thank you for tuning in. If you're watching from Facebook, thank you. If you're watching from YouTube, thank you so much. Tariq says that enough people buy gun at Jamaica. It's just that if you get catch, you get catch, and if you don't get catch, you're a lucky one. But justice is just a political circus. I kind of just summarize everything that he's saying, kind of make it a little bit concise. I did my own little twist to it. But
just
that a long time gun licenses are being sold in Jamaica, and throughout the years, different national. You know what's funny about this though? I think is the fact that these were actual ministers, holding the position as the country's defenders when it comes to national security, bro. These are ministers. And I think that's yes, we can always say the CEO and the directors and all of that of the FLA did some unscrupulous things, but for you to be the security minister and is involved in this allegedly, to me, that says a lot, Gio. To me, that says a lot. Let's highlight. Hold on, Gio. Hold your point. The Jamaican political system is a farce and a joke. Big time, big circus. There is no difference between both parties. You vote them in and they rub up the money and do nothing. I am happy that a lot of people are actually seeing the light now that politics in Jamaica can be better. But I think that it is kind of changing, but we have a far way to go.
I agree with you saying it's changing, but it's changing toward the negative, meaning that most of the young people who are getting involved in politics now, they're inculcated by the same people who were there before them. So all them going bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and fresh-minded, and then within a few months, them get to understand what the status quo is, and then slowly but surely, them themselves have become corrupt too. And I think the last election was a perfect indication of the fact that people were catching on. I don't think it was because of the weather or COVID or anything why the turnout was the way it is, more so than the people just feel like it doesn't really matter who you pick. Because at the end of the day, the word minister means servant. Nobody in the Jamaica politics don't know that part there. They forgot that meaning completely, and the people that they're serving, they don't know that is what they're supposed to be doing. So everybody who vote them in essentially sign them signature upon this job and the people can't do the job, and there's no recourse after because our political system is a closed loop. There's no way. There's every loophole to get them out of trouble, but there's no loophole to get them out of the damn job. Right. Unless Andrew or whoever says, hey, you might want to resign now.
Right. I mean, we've spent a bit of time on this because I think it's a very important topic, you know what I mean? And I am happy that we can establish it that based on the comments and based on our views, we know that nothing will, come out of this. And we're just sick and tired of it. And this is why I've never, ever exercised my right as a Jamaican citizen to ever dip my index finger in any ink and mark an X beside a bell or a head. I just don't see the point in doing it. And you and I
working at the PNP. I worked in the PNP's head office and I still never voted.
That's what I'm saying. You and I, we've had this discussion, a lot of times. And he says, you have to vote to make a change. What? I ask him, what change? What change? There's no change. All right, let's invite Shells. Shells had a quick run out to get some stuff done. Shells, are you hearing us? Are you there?
Are you hearing me?
Yeah, we're hearing you now. You know what I mean?
Finally.
All right, save it. So we kind of touch over a few things. The FLA was, do you think that Bunting should resign as well? Or do you think that them resigning is just another way of saying, hey, we're just kind of smoking mirrors?
So from what I've heard been circulating, I have no proof. Isn't Montague still getting paid?
Well, yeah.
All right. And he'll still be getting paid whether or not he's going to work, from what I'm hearing.
Yeah, because he's just...
So what sense it make? I want to know if Jamaican politicians are immune to prosecution. Yes, that's my question. And maybe somebody who has, knowledge of all the laws and the Constitution and everything, somebody who has been through it can educate me as to whether or not they are exempt from prosecution. Because me want to know, there's always somebody on our platform that can tell us, because I don't get it. All these years, and from my research, only one politician has ever been convicted of a crime, and he never spent no time in a prison for it. Everybody else just get away scot-free. It's a media thing for now, and then it just gets swept under the carpet until whatever, I don't know.
Well, all right. I just wanted your reaction to that. Thank you so much for your point. All right, we're going to move on. And I think I want to move on to this particular video. And I think this is more personal than anything else. You guys can give your 2 cents on this, but I'm going to watch it and I'm going to give my viewpoint, and then we can discuss it after. Let's take a listen.
Champion that a minister, a councillor, and their friends were drinking on the No Movement Day at that hotel in Newcastle. Not one buckle of that champagne. And they weren't drinking one buckle. They were drinking about 5 or 6. But our new minimum wage couldn't buy one buckle of that rosé champagne. Madam Speaker, to put $9,000 in perspective, $9,000 could not buy one single bottle of the rosé champagne that a minister, a councillor, and their friends were drinking on the No Movement Day at that hotel in Newcastle.
All right, true. But hear what is also true, Mr. Robinson. Hear what is also true, Mr. Robinson, that you are a great politician who uses the pseudo-empathy type of style to trick Jamaicans, the fake empathy to trick Jamaicans. You don't care about the $9,000, brother. Zip it. Zip it. Because at the end of the day, we know that you're just doing this to score political points. Here is another true thing. That Jamaicans, some Jamaicans, we have seen it, floss in a party and dash away more than $9,000 worth of liquor. So who are you talking about? A small percentage? A medium-sized percentage? Or the entire Jamaica? Because, Gio, let me ask you on Shells. In Jamaica, how much of the population work minimum wage?
I remember the last time I looked at that study, 70% of, and this is the last time I checked, so if the information is updated, somebody let me know. But as it stood when I checked, 70% of Jamaica's eligible labor force, or Jamaica's labor force, work at or below minimum wage. And this was before this $9,000 thing. So, yeah.
All right,
I think the labor force at that time was 1.3 million people. So, yeah.
All right, cool. You know that a lot of times we have seen it. And if you go across Jamaica, Shells, tell me if I'm lying now. Cell phones, expensive cell phones dash at Jamaica, expensive cars dash at Jamaica. People wear brands, even if you want to call it knockoff or not. And we have seen in parties where a lot of people do money pull-ups and so on and so forth. Am I overreacting to that? Or is it a case where I can safely say, and I'm going to go out on a limb to say this, that we're not as poor as, I mean, a lot of people, don't get me wrong, there's a percentage of people who are actually poor. But for the most part of it, Shells, yes, people can hardly find food to eat, but it's not as bad as this person or this gentleman would want to make it look, though.
It is bad, Andrew. It is bad. Let's not fool ourselves. The only thing with Jamaica is most of us have plantains and breadfruit trees and banana trees growing in our backyards. A lot of people do. Then we have mango and apple and other fruit seasons, and we live in a country where there are an abundance of kindness. As you know, a lot of us would want to think that Jamaicans are not kind people. Yes, we are, and that is why you can get a bunch, a hand of banana from your neighbor, or you can get, if your neighbor plants, you can get a head of cabbage or something. But a lot of people, and I can tell you because you know I do charity. And that is how you see it come out. The poorness of our people come out. A whole lot of people working below minimum wage. Where I live, my geographic location, the businesses that strive here are supermarkets that are here, supermarkets, and you have haberdasheries, and you have those electronic stores that sell furniture and all of that. And almost everybody that work in there, minimum wage. A lot of people are paid below the minimum wage. The few helpers and other people, it's a vast majority, in my opinion, that works the minimum wage. So those people who we see dashing away cell phones and crashing cars and flossing cars or whatever, they are doing something other than what? They're not working for anybody at all but themselves most of the times, or they have people are fine sending things to them. So a lot of them don't purchase those cell phones for themselves. And we know what other people are doing. But I can tell you, it's a lot.
But I mean, another Jamaican, speaking to another Jamaican, they would probably have a different, point of view based on, through what lens they're looking at it. I do agree that the minimum wage is not enough. $9,000 is certainly not enough. But the reason why I ask these questions is because who is this man representing really? Who is he talking about? Who is he really defending? And what group of people, is he standing up and defending? Because at the end of the day, I'm sure he pops those expensive bottles of champagne as well.
And that's hypocrisy for sure. That's hypocrisy. Is that he and his friends does the same thing. So, and to stand there and speak as if you're speaking for me and the other person who is going through it. Because we know how they live and we pay them. And know a lot of things it's public knowledge and we know how much they're getting for a salary. So you can't tell me, say you will not pop expensive things to and drive expensive vehicle and do the most. Sometimes they are the ones who have helpers and gardeners and people who then pay below minimum wage and say them can't afford nothing more than that either. So where them are going to say that? That's why I wear black, see that.
But you have an orange.
Burnt orange. And this, over yourself, man.
So don't get
Andrew, you win. You win now on this.
Listen, don't get me wrong.
I have a green background too, but me personally, I'm not rocking it.
Don't get me wrong. I do understand that it is hard for a lot of Jamaicans. Trust me. Even my parents are sometimes struggling in Jamaica. I have relatives who are struggling in Jamaica, so don't get me wrong. And of course, as Tariq says, that folks poorly can burn money and all of that. And there's a reason I ask that question too, you know what I mean? Because we tend to look to politicians to say, hey, what are they doing? But as you say, Shells, you have neighbors who are kind. You have neighbors who are pretty much charitable. And you have other neighbors who just be selfish and think about themselves. And thank God for Jamaica, because Shaki and I, we've been having this discussion recently. She said, yo, if we were to move back to Jamaica, we want to be able to have a yard space where we can plant a few fruit trees. fruit trees, straight up. Because at the end of the day, we understand how important it is. Everything is not about money. So I don't want anybody sit here on this program and think I'm saying, oh, Jamaicans are not suffering. A lot of us are. But on the other hand, a lot of Jamaicans are living great. Some Jamaicans, I even heard it. A lot of Jamaicans say it. Oh, we are Jamaica. I mean, I talk about scammers alone, and we are living a life than wholly pa una foreign. I've heard it over and over. I've heard that comparison being made too. Gio and I, we've been speaking recently about certain things. I'm not going to disclose it, but Gio, in a first world country, in a European country, facing similar conditions as a Jamaican would face. So, I do get it. It's global, you know what I mean? But what I'm saying is for him to come here and speak, I'm saying really and truly, who are you representing? You're only representing a social club and speaking out of hypocrisy. And I agree with you, Shells. Gio, what's your reaction to that? I didn't get a chance to hear from you.
Oh no, it's the fake empathy. I remember you remember that time when Andrew Holness was in Parliament and talk about, when times get rough, him run a boat. And I was like, your boat in comparison to everybody else's boat that them run is a yacht. Remember when I used to Jamaica and me and my uncle and my auntie boyfriend, I run up and down through 15 different yards. If you can pick enough ackee, if you say we are going to run boat. And put together a little $10 them because we know say them time the pound of flour easy enough to buy. And buy how much £10 of flour and just make ackee and dumpling alone. And that we call boat. For them boats a barbecue. You see me? Like when you hear people who are sitting in a seat of privilege speak as though they're trying to represent the masses when they know in fact that, one, when it comes to cash flow in Jamaica, there's a bottleneck. All of the money resides at the top. And two, the amount of corruption with them themselves responsible for make sure that the money can even flow equitably, it makes no sense. So I don't try to listen to all of these different scenarios because it's just a talking point. I know just no minimum wage unequitable a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look on the history of how minimum wage has jumped, it has always never been enough. Mm-hmm. So I don't see why it's supposed to be enough now and why Mr. I'm so smart over here decides that 9,000 is spitting the bucket. Bro, you never know what Christopher Columbus, we never need you to tell you that. We know it now work.
You know what's funny though, Gio? Minimum wage doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be paid that, That's the minimum. You could be paid over that. And I don't see anybody calling on, I don't see anybody calling on, the private sectors and business owners to up the pay for the people. I get it that the buck stops at the government to set a threshold. But at the end of the day, Gio, you and I mean, I talk about mama and papa shop. I talk about like the big establishment, them like the KFCs and you name it, the ones that are having a surplus at the end of their fiscal year. Those are the ones that I think should come under fire too. And Jamaicans then turn around and support them throughout the year. They don't have to pay the $9,000. They could actually foot the $12,000. I'm not their accountant. I'm not sitting in their treasury department or whatever, but I'm sure you and Shells would agree that these establishments, these Fortune 10,000 establishments can do much better than paying below 9,000 or 9,000 right there and dead. The
$9,000 to people like me, where God forbid me need some help and I want to employ somebody to come and wash for me or do something for me, then you'd have to think about it because $9,000 would be a squeeze to me. You understand? Right. So the $9,000 would be for persons like myself and others who would love to give somebody else a job, if it's even part-time, once a week or something like that. But for those other entities, all they do is scheme on the $9,000, and if you don't mind them, want to give you 8 and 7, same way as if they can't afford it. And that's the cry. Oh, talk to these people. They are the ones who are going to have to pay it and they can't afford it. Them lying. Because even the man who have a little corner shop right now eat a food, Andrew, because food has never gone anywhere, even during the pandemic. People have to eat. Exactly. So even every certain little people making a little money and they can afford to stretch because $9,000 can't pay one light bill at Jamaica for a 3-person household. May I tell you?
true. That's what
Not
I'm
even
saying.
to a single person household.
You know, so
Not
people,
even a single person household.
I think a lot of Jamaicans who are complaining don't really understanding. And Shells, I like how you break it down after me asking the question, say, hey, what about the bigger establishments that they can afford, more than can afford it? Because you said it. Imagine you and I were to start employing people. We have to pay them at $9,000. We're not even making that back to really pay them $9,000. So, of course, the government probably took that into consideration to say, let me set it right here. Let me set the threshold right here. So, but what I think they should do, and Gio, I think it should be a thing where there are different levels to the thing. Meaning
categorize it, yeah, man. Put it in categories of who can pay 9,000. This is the minimum that can be paid to so and so and so and so. Because people just stick at the $9,000 like say it never said minimum. The big
But-
word put it in caps is minimum.
right, and that's why I said that a lot of Jamaicans don't understand that you don't have to be paid that. You can pay above that, but the big boys choose not to. And I think that's where the problem is. So sometimes when we are choking the government and having our hands around the necks of the government and strangling them, sometimes we have to step back and to say, what is it that Miss G and down the road are do where she and Miss Pauline go at the same wholesale, buy the goods at the same price, but one person is selling it more? They travel the same route, spend the same transportation cost, have and whatever the same way, but I have to sell it $2 more than that person because of greed. So sometimes we have to take 10 steps back and look and to say, hey, you know, everybody, we have a role to play. All right, guys, we're going to wrap up social views. Thank you guys so much for your input. I'm just going to jump to one comment, and Tariq's comment. I like Anthony and Tariq's comment. You know, their last two comments. I recently heard of an often maligned politician who ensures that everyone in his household, from gardener to helper, driver, own their own house. He pays minimum wage, but helps for far beyond the minimum. I mean, kudos to that politician. Even though they tend to hate him. You know what I mean? They beat him bad. But kudos to that politician. You know what I mean? That's a good move. And that's what me and Shells and Gio, we're trying to establish that, hey, come on, bosses. Y'all can do better. And I know y'all can do better. But guess what? It's the minimum. And we don't, legally, you can't force us to, you know, pay that. Anyway, we segue into our next segment. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is the hot segment right now where we're going to burn a fire right now. And of course, views expressed on this show during this segment, that those views don't reflect that of Hype TV. My views don't represent Shells nor Gio, but those are mine, and vice versa. So tonight, charity, politics, and corruption, scamming and pseudo empathy. In other words, fake empathy. When you come talk about yeah, but like you're on charity, move out of here with that. Guys, we're gonna look at this
Jamaican people.
We're gonna look at this intro video, and then when we come back, we discuss it in depth. Let's take a look. We soon come back.
Jamaican people, once you give them an opportunity to start to do something, then they'll try to help themselves. So my hope is that we can empower them. If you were talking about really helping from a humane perspective, and you were talking about a program, a community that is real in dire need, this is that kind of a community.
A charity is supposed to be about generosity and helpfulness, especially towards the needy or suffering, in aiding and giving to those in need. Some people may receive charity from their neighbors, the community church, or from an institution engaged in relief of the poor.
Lord, if you could help me to get out of this situation, because it is very hard and it is very tough, and the kids them been through enough already and them cannot take it anymore.
Monetary donations are one of the simplest and most common form of contribution to a charity in Jamaica. This form of contribution sometimes breeds corruption, which is usually accompanied by pseudo-empathy and self-gratification. On this week's VVL podcast, we will be discussing the act of scamming and pseudo-empathy under the guise of being charitable. Are most donors making contribution for the likes and attention? Do you agree that every charitable contribution should be published in the media? Do you also think that in some cases politicians exploit people in destitute situations for their political interest?
To confirm that Delano's tuition on board for the full duration of his studies there will be taken care of.
Hope the government institution, and they were sent there by the MP, but they decide not to. They decide to go behind our box and go to the person them house early.
A lot of persons are interested in terms of helping both local and overseas, and also the People's National Party. They show interest.
Join us as we discuss these issues: charity, scamming, politics, pseudo empathy in Jamaica. All right, guys. So let's get the ball rolling right now. And this is, I think, a very, 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 interesting topic. And I might get a little bit, emotional and a little bit anxious. I don't want to use the word angry when we're going to discuss this. But this discussion was inspired by the Delano Tucker story, where a content creator documented Delano's situation, living condition with his family. And this was done from last year, but it was made public just a few weeks ago. And ever since, we see a lot of donations and contributions being made to this family. It is not unusual for Jamaicans to rally. As Shell says, you have a neighbor and the neighbor can share a hana banana or, a head of yam or whatever. So it's not unusual for Jamaicans to be kind. But what I noticed is that since Donna Go started her charity program, we've seen a lot of people now starting charity program and then making it become a public spectacle. It become a media thing. Gio has a charity or had a charity. And Gio was speaking about his experience. Shells also does the same. And she'll be talking about her experience. I have contributed to charities. But the main focus tonight is the act of scamming and the fake empathy under the guise of being charitable. And the reason I said I actually thought of this, idea or this topic to discuss tonight is because of the Delano Tucker situation. Guys, let me get your reaction. What do you think, or what's your reaction to what's actually taking place? The mess, all of what's going on, the fight between, political, representatives and, residents who are just trying to be good Samaritans. Gio, I'll go to you first. What's your reaction?
Well, I've said it before, and I remember, I think I said it in my comment section a long time ago. First time when I actually saw you guys discussing anything, when you did have, maybe the name again, Triple X on the show, and you guys were talking about Donna then. And I said it in the comment section at that point. I said, listen, the government of Jamaica allows Donna to run her program because, number one, it takes a whole heap of slack off of them shoulders. Like nobody not pressure them because there is a social influence that people are now leaning into, saying, hey, come help me over here. So nobody's really putting any pressure on those who actually carry the responsibility. So that was one of the things. Multiple different companies assisted her in the process, because they saw a marketing opportunity coming out of it. And at the same time, number three, when I said that, I knew for a fact that her program wasn't even registered as a charity. It was just someone collecting monies and, operating as such. If you look at how her demeanor at that point in time, and then bring it down to where she is now, you realize that it has been beneficial, not just for the people that she served, but for her. But under the rules that regulate charitable operations in Jamaica, you yourself are not supposed to make any profit off of whatever it is that you're doing. You can pay staff a stipend if it is the case that, you have people that work for you. And if it is, the only thing you can really recoup is whether or not you are taking from like any gas or any things that you find billable to yourself that you paid for, that you are recovering. But for anybody to tell me, say, yeah, she built the operation and she already had her business on the side. No, it's a farce. It does not make no sense.
But the question, Gio, wasn't really about, Donna Go and, what she
No,
did.
I'm talking about scamming. I'm not talking about her, but I'm using her as a case study in the scamming.
But all right, what I'm saying is that I ask you for your reaction, about the Delano Tucker situation, and then we
wait. It's a build-up. I'm gonna get into it.
Just get to that point there, and then we can take it step by step.
All right. So you look at her transition, and then I've counted about 6 different people who have tried to do the same thing. Whether or not they try to do it on Facebook, I've even seen Jamaican people doing it on Clubhouse, going into different rooms talking about what they're doing for different people. People even target me on Clubhouse because of the profile of me. I'm like, yeah, but I can see through what you're doing. And it is all done in the hopes that they're going to go viral so that they can then, I suppose, attain the same level of how do you want to say, patronage that Donna is now experiencing, because she herself talked about multiple times that, like, the amount of cash that she's collected, multiple tens of millions that she's collected in donations from people, right? People see her and see how she gets a profile of a social media, and they think to themselves, well, Donna can't reach everywhere in Jamaica, so me I gotta be the Donna for Portland, somebody gotta be the Donna for St. Thomas. Okay. Comment section just took my attention just now. I'm gonna cut it off right there for now.
Why, Gio? What happened?
No, like the person who said proof. I mean,
so we're gonna get to all of that, Gio. You have to keep focused.
Yeah.
All right, Shells, your reaction to the Delano Tucker situation.
It's just another one of those situations that it's been blown out of proportion because of politics and the media. Right? So everybody's winning from the situation except the persons involved. And the persons involved are being taken for, I think you discussed that we discussed when disability and people actually taking advantage of the disabled persons.
Right.
And this is kind of sort of like the same situation, but this time it's not disability. It's just persons who are in need of help. And that's what is happening here. So social media personals are actually, getting clicks and likes, and they are earning from it. And then media houses are earning from it. And politicians are also scoring points from it. And not thinking so much of the persons that are in need of help, how they may feel. And I always talk about pride. Not because people are poor and in need of help mean they don't have any pride. And you take away people's pride and dignity when you do things like this to them. And that's it. I think they disrespected the young man that highlighted it. And if he had a certain kind of mindset, people would be actually paying him some money now for trying to, tear down his character and accuse him of things that he may not have done, in my opinion. So that's just how I see it. I just hope that in the end, they do get the help they need expeditedly, and people will stop the tomfoolery and what's happening, like a circus business, cut that out and get straight to helping them, because that's what they need.
All right. So this is the main point that we want to establish. We're not here to say that, Donna Go is a scammer. I don't know. I don't have proof for that, and I will never sit on this program and say that. I don't think she is saying that either, or Shells. So we don't want them to, think that we're trying to beat them. But the truth is that I feel like Donna gets some form of self-gratification out of it, but that's for another time when we get to that point. Do good with intention, not for attention. And this brother is what kind of get me in my feelings when I first saw it. A Safa Powell coming out. I can't recall. Maybe he has, but I can't recall ever seen a Safa being this involved in charity. Maybe he has. Maybe it just missed me. And I know that some people are going to say, but what if he's doing it under the quiet and we don't know? Why never keep doing it under the quiet? We didn't have to know. So this is what we're talking about here, is when this is a big story. This is a major story. Let's take a look at the views that this actual, Shares, I'm sorry to bring you up. The views, let me see. The views, look at that. 127,000. And this is just on the original page, I think. So imagine the other views that have been accumulated because of this story. So why do we usually wait until these stories become public? Oh, here the regular thing now on a geo and share. How would it know that? If somebody never got record it, they wouldn't know. How? Okay,
hey, so what I'll say is this, right, Andrew? In Asafa's case, he's a charitable person. He's done a whole heap of things. I suppose they just used it as a photo up in this particular case. But even when it came to like the Olympics itself, he actually paid, not in the last one, but in one of the Olympic run-ins that Jamaica had, he paid for a majority of the team to actually be able to travel to go and represent the country. Because obviously we know that in Jamaica, they really put no money in if it not seem important. He actually does that. He does a lot. Mind you, he might be more on a business them, so he doesn't really need to do anything to be seen, because as a fall of water company, he might be more on a water brand in Jamaica. So he might have the means and the resources to give and give back, right? And he does do that. But as Miss Pinnock just said right there a while ago, she actually, well, I know, Miss Williams said, Nicole Williams, right there. That right there says the proof that anybody needed. Anybody who wants to say want to run an operation in Jamaica, you have to be fully registered and all that. You go to the company's office and you register like any other company, limited liability, and then you go to the what's it called again? The office that covers all permits that you use to go to the thing there, like Department of Friendly and Cooperative Societies. Yes, you go there and then they give you another certificate that has you fully registered as a charity so that you can operate and do everything else you need to do. Costs money. Enough of them that do them thing and I do it unregulated. As a matter of fact, you're not supposed to collect money in Jamaica under no guise at all, and without being a registered entity, if you do any kind of social benefit. Simple as that. You're not supposed to. If you're on a charity for any particular reason, any of them people you say do it, and them not have something registered, done gone wrong already.
See, I didn't
and
even
the government play politics with it because they know that there are regulations, but it take the weight off of them shoulders, so they will make people run and do whatever they want because they, you know what? I have to carry the water, they might carry it for me.
I'm gonna say something where that is concerned, because I do charity and it has a name and it's not registered. Because when I check on the cost to register it, I would prefer to give that $30-something thousand to use it, buy groceries for persons to eat, right? And somebody was telling me that I could use another entity, but it's not a government entity, so it would be registered under the quote-unquote right umbrella. So some charities like mine may be registered, but maybe if me get rich certain kind of way. Because I find it really, really, really disgusting that I have to pay over $30-something to register. They register it the right way. So I can register the name and that's fine, but to register it as an entity in its own, you know, the right and proper way costs a penny. You understand? So something has to be done where that is concerned, because when you have people who genuinely give, like, you know, one time they ever do it, Andrew, one time, and it's because the help that a family needed was way above me, and they asked them permission and put it out there. Now I take my picture and nobody giving them some food or nothing.
I don't think it's necessary.
But not do it. If that's the reason why if you want me to send you a receipt of what I buy or a private picture, not for your posting, because you have to ask people permission to post them up, and you say you want it as evidence because you gave me some money towards the charity, I'll do that. Send you a private photograph and your receipt if you want it. But me not put it on social media because people have to maintain them dignity. Yeah. Because they're poor, them still have pride, and I believe in that.
All right.
So the unregisteredness, Donna's, I mean, if you have to call her name, because they tell you call her name is like people feel
I like saying people feel good.
You can't find one different name, give me.
Hold on, Sheriff. Hold on. We're not reached the scamming part yet, you know, so I don't know why.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the registered name. If the part we're talking about registering an entity, her entity is so huge. You understand? That it's She's supposed to be regulated and registered properly because she can afford to. You understand?
We not reach the part there yet because all of this registration thing and not registered will come under the whole umbrella of scamming. You see me? What we're talking about now is for the people who get them self-stroking ego fantasy and them pseudo empathy, them fake empathy showing that they really want to give back because I want to hear my name call, even with a family who gave them iPhones, iPhone 30. But hold on. I did highlight Tariq's comment for a reason, and then I can go into that because I'm telling you, tonight we're going to burn a fire because we're not the unpopular views. Tariq says that them a video Walter Boyd were there. And it's like they're forced. Journalists tend to do that. And Gio mentioned, it's funny how he mentioned Triple the other day. And I think we had Kamala on, we were talking about Donna.
Yeah.
And how Donna was dealing with the young lady who apparently she went by the house and saw that there was a man living there and so on. And we are saying, no, Donna, that's not how you deal with it. Right? And I was trying to explain to Triple that Donna has copied a style where storytellers have. And just like the Delano storyteller who told the story of Delano where they shot everything and put music behind it and slow motion and try to reenact his daily, living and his situation where they would go to bed at night and only eat onion and boiled garlic and probably suck sweet. As a filmmaker, we are going to exaggerate a story to tell a story.
Exactly.
Put effects such as sound effects and visual effects. Donna, however, with her thing, she might never realize what she had do to say, oh, this is actually something that is a Hollywood standard. But what she does is to go around with the camera. As she'll say, she did it once and she don't feel like she want to do it again. She go around with the camera and show the condition of the house. I get it. It will get people to want to contribute. But this is where the fake empathy come in now. Because we are so God-fearing as a people, guys. We are going to see it and go, Jesus Christ, look how Gio I live. God forbid that should ever happen to me. See me light, I'll drop down here. Sealer. God forbid that ever should have happened to me. I send something just in case. Don't send it just in case. Because you are trying to secure your blessing with God. Send it because you want to send it. Don't contribute to Delano Tucker because you feel like, say, oh, I find it to come from a and give him iPhone 8 and 13 and 10 and 20 because we want her name to look when I say, Jesus Christ, look at Shells and Gio them do. Them sell iPhone 13, go down there and Nike slippers. No, iPhone 13 and Nike slippers could have stayed because he can't eat that.
There's some Andrew. You see, before me saying iPhone 13, I see before all the extravagance.
Well, I'm not sure if it's 13, but just use a number.
No, I just say, right? With all the extravagance, I say I go on. I'm surprised that if I remember I had said something before, and a few people, I was like, yeah, we should do something like that. Why I mean, see nobody, I say, yo, make we start a community farm. Make we start something that can continuously give back to these people that they can maintain. It's all about the monies they want to collect for the monies they want to collect for the monies they want to collect. How about things that actually are sustainable, things that are scalable? See nobody depend them levels, Oh, no. make we do this, and this will continue to do this, so we don't ever have to go. Because you see, and that's a part of the reason why I've never had to advertise anything that we do anymore. I set up everything that I was going to do for my charity to ensure that the business itself, because I treat it like a business, would generate its own income so that I would never have to reach out and video that call nobody else or call nobody else, because I don't want to put nobody business on blast. Because I remember once we were doing a feeding, right? We were downtown, we'd feed some homeless people. And one person I could tell, I was like, yo, even though this person was homeless, they were prideful. The person did not want to take anything. And I realized, you know what? Even though it's a good thing we do, if you put these people business on blast like that, it has an impact on them too, because even though they're homeless, them know why you remind them of that, and them know other people see them at that state. So you have to treat the situation with a little bit of tact, Like, yes, you can raise awareness, but then you don't need to do this thing every day where you're running people through this thing and bring people, you have to go make this big drama. If you get more people involved, and it really become this thing like it's a soap opera for people just laugh and quarrel and then send money come, laugh and quarrel, send money come. You have to have a system in place that can grow even outside of the people who are putting into it, so that at some point, you can say, you know, the organism is feeding itself. I saw it for work, but you know, so nobody coming down to there, everybody just want the money to come back at it.
Shells.
Andrew?
Yeah.
You saying?
I'm saying, you know, your reaction to everything have to be on camera, everything have to be, you know, documented, the world can see it. And do you believe in, if you're contributing, for example, in the Delano Tucker situation, do you believe that giving him you know, an expensive cell phone and name brand stores and clothes and all of that, is that really helping the situation though?
For me, that's just for the hype, yo. People just doing things before the hype of it. And that's everybody want them 5 minutes out of it. It's not so much the empathy for the young man and his family. It's what I'm going to do and who can outdo who, because everybody's looking out. And it would be, as you said first, if somebody hadn't highlighted it, then most of us wouldn't be aware of it in order to make a contribution or even say something about it, and that's fine. But you can give under the quiet. Everybody don't have to know about it. You understand? He's into agriculture. Make him a fowl cub on the premises instead of send an iPhone, because a normal Android would have done the same trick. You know, make up a phone cube or something that he likes because he's into farming. Get him some farming gears or something with that money. And that's the thing with charity. When people try to do stuff for people, they don't think of the needs, because all the needs that he has came out in the video. But you're going to send him some name brand stuff, an iPhone and this and everything else that he really is not in need of at the moment. You know, so it's just for the cloud for so many people. And that's sad. It is so sad.
You know, I was about the shells. You know, I was about the shells. Me and you see the all setup. We know, say, I throw up electricity that. Me I gonna send you an iPhone for you plug in from whatever faulty socket you have. Guarantee say you lay down there in a bed and something just goes because too much electricity I run to it and I fire that. Because me that try to prove a point, me give you an iPhone. Like who? No, who in that situation needs an iPhone? How about, like, you know, something that they can actually rely on over and over and over? Come on.
Anyhow, we now beat Dana over here. So Planka, when can come, can we back Brad? Nicole says that Andrew, there was a recipient on Dana's program whose name is Spider, because what he was now started his own child. Wow. Oh, guess what? He started. See, Spider know what going on. Spider learned from the best. I guess Spider learned from the best, you know. The thing is, guys, Shells said, and Gio said just now, like, why you see the video and you know of the needs, why do you need to say, listen, I can't tell nobody what to do with them business or do with them want to do with their money. But the truth is, how about buy a dozen layer? Buy a dozen fall. Build the fall coupon game and make sure say, okay, the money they will not go take out. It probably could be second-hand phones too, we don't know. But let's say them go buy them for real, for send them. You know, say each of them phone, the cost of them Geo, them could at least supply this young man and his mother and father with fall feeding. Shells, you the fall, I think the layer fall and something they say you must know how much for buy feeding and
Andrew, I'm afraid of foul. But this I don't know, but I know. Because on one occasion, that's what I helped a family to do. We built a coop for them and had them started raising their own chickens. So what they do after that is upon them, but at least you gave them some the fishing rods and whatever else to go fish. You understand?
I used to be the feedlot supervisor for Jamaica Brothers. Around the back of them wall of operation, them have the cow, them sell the chicken, them all the chicken feed. Yeah, you buy a couple of chick and go and put them on a little high pro special with them have. In a 6 weeks, although mineral too like that part, they still cause in the back of my mind everything if you take a natural course.
Hey,
but layers, layers are a better investment than
True.
those because
You have egg.
yeah, and you sell
Yeah.
egg to your whole community, and when the fall them get a little bit age, you sell those and replace them. So they're a bit more expensive, but they're better investments. So
Yeah, you have
much they
this
could have done.
there's
So
this
much they could have
lady.
done.
There's a lady where there's a group of them, but one particular lady started. They have one community. Remember which part of Jamaica I did? The women, all they did was just that they started a laying operation. They now provide eggs to feed them little spot with them there. And everywhere within I must say like a 5-kilometer radius. And them operation grow. Right? It's just as simple. It's as simple as how can we fulfill the needs of the community instead of the needs of one? How can we fulfill the needs of the community? You make an investment and then you make it grow. When we did the broilers, this brother, he was a chairman, Mr. Wait. Even though you could tell him was a man of privilege, he still had thoughts that made sense. And he get some ideas from him. Say to me, say, Clark, you see when them boy they come, you give them what they want, all right? And basically some bad man when come from our Spanish town side, but him that try to set them up on a different path. So the man buy pig, give them, man buy a whole heap of pig, give them, and so then come, you give them what they want. You give them what they want, because may I try and make a change in the community. It was a white man, but the man had sense. Man said, I'm trying to make them responsible. I can make them raise pig and feed them wider. I not worry about them and shoot me and try to rob me out of my vehicle. See me, it's as simple as that. You just figure out a way that you can get everybody on mission and know say it have a overall benefit. Because at the time, one pig like that sell for about 30 grand. And when pig have 16, if you can even say, yeah, reproduce pig them and sell them back. But at 16 times 30 grand, yeah, make money. I ain't gonna breed the pig them and do where you sell some pork over here. But it's a matter of giving the people the tools that they can use to reproduce the thing over and over again until it grows, it blossoms into something that makes sense.
All right, let me highlight this comment. This person says that Ya Asantiwa, thank you for your comment. People live vicariously through who they donate to. I would like this, so I'm getting this. There are many ways of thinking about this. It's more than clout. Donors are not thinking. They are more emotional than anything else, so they are not thinking straight. That's why I said it is fake. That's the point. You have some more
people rely on the emotions of the donor so they can get more money.
Exactly. So you have people who are intentionally fake, the pseudos, and you have people who just react because and you have people who react because we were cultured to think that, okay, this is how I get my blessing. And because we use the sound effects and visual effects to play on your emotions, you're just going to pick, dip in your pocket and fuck it up. And to me, some of us, we're creating more damage, we're creating more bad than good. Because for that person who act on the emotion, because it is just their instinct to say, oh, wow, they need iPhones, and oh, they need name brand clothes, and they need this, and they need that. You see what happens now? Because when them all get life from for charge your phone.
Exactly.
Help them know when them got them bed hungry, can they eat a piece of that phone? They must go back to the onion and garlic where they fry up and eat. So that's
they might go be the person who go back to Dana and say, me know some more money come for me. Like
that's Shells, you were gonna say something and then I had to finish my point.
I was just gonna say that it goes to show that common sense is extinct, you know? Because if you have a situation where something is highlighted, where someone is in need, those needs were highlighted on more than one occasion that this is what they need. So if they need a phone, why would you get an iPhone when really them have so much things going on? Like these people have nothing, they're gone zero. Why would they need an iPhone and Nike slippers? That come after the fact, long after the fact, when everything's settled down and they have everything that they want. So that is when the iPhone will come and say, yes, all right, them good now. Them a live good now, then get a house, we have bathroom and food in the house and everything. Maybe we can gift him for all the work that he's done in school for him 9 subjects. Then when me can buy my iPhone, when him have current for charge it and everything, all right. Right? So we now say them can't think I'm buying my iPhone, but do it at the appropriate time because no, some Leah follow are doing better.
Not only that, them have hey, let me tell you this, in a New York Shells, if you pass 20 corner stores, you smell egg a frying a
Egg
that
sandwich.
time of night. Your boss is Spanish their house, no matter what time of night, you smell egg a frying a that, you know, man. So can you imagine if he has you know, a bunch of layer fowls, him can't go bed and him onion and garlic alone. That's, you see, that's what we're saying.
Every household in Jamaica, almost all of them must have vegetarian household. Them eat egg a morning time go to school.
But here we're going on, Gio. I wanted to poke this at you, Gio. The egg thing, though.
Okay.
Shells, why Gio afraid to eat young fowl, but he wanna eat egg?
No, I'm afraid to eat young fowl, you know.
Hold on. I was shelling an egg.
What you call young fowl?
That the man said, oh, 6 weeks in this, and him say, boy, I mean, two no about a 6 week fowl. So
exactly.
Me not too wrong him still.
But boy, so egg give me son what yeah. I mean, I shell the eggs in, and he must say, Daddy, what is that you doing? I'm saying, I'm stripping the egg off the shell. And he goes, oh, can I eat the shell? I said, no, you only can eat what's inside the egg. And I said, did you know that this is a baby chick? He goes, baby chick? No. I mean, I said, think about it though. No. Think about it.
You want the youth to eat egg? You want the youth to eat egg? You know what people put me no stop eat egg because I'm telling them that.
In the business, you still want egg. You want it scrambled, you want it boiled, you want it fried, you want it whatever. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, you know, just to kind of poke a joke at Gio. But yeah, back to the serious argument though. All right. Guys, we're not saying that everybody who contribute to you know, charity is doing it and being fake.
Definitely not.
What we can certainly say though, with the Wadana something name give back or something like Plank or whatever, what we can say though, I think a lot of people get them kicks out of hearing them name mentioned. And Shells, just to kind of touch back on the iPhone contribution, kind and money. Okay, fine. You give it in kind, cash or kind. You give it in kind, all right? I feel like them people did not do it because they want to hear say, oh, Shells and Gio sent 2 iPhone from foreign. That's just my opinion. Because then Shells asks a question, and why would you send an iPhone? You know how much people are foreign no have iPhone? I mean, me have a hand-me-down iPhone. And it's not one of the latest one them. People, they have hand-me-down things. So what's the big deal? The big deal is that that's where we call fake empathy. The big deal is that Shell say a lot of people give and realize say when they're supposed to give them now give. And as the lady or the gentleman who commented to say that people just go off of emotions, that's exactly what we're saying. People give because them afraid God no give them back them blessing. No, don't give to receive. Don't give to get. Give because it come from your heart. Be that good humanitarian. Be that good human being. Be that kind person. Be that neighbor like what Shell say, will chop down a bunch of banana and give you a dozen. A dozen, is a hand a dozen? That's what they call it. Few finger banana, then if you want to be safe. Because I come from a country, so I don't know if you measure up banana. You see me?
You know, I told Andrew come from now.
Hell yeah. But my father, them, which part I come from, coming like country still because I grew up having fruit trees in my yard. So
I'll be a banana the back this, so you don't have to tell me that.
All right. You know, I come from banana for kill. Yup.
Up on the gully side, but I found banana around this road with them people.
So she's not, but I feel the way when we say countries, just that geographically, we might not come from one rural spot, but which part me live. You couldn't tell me say I'm a country that because of beer bush. But anyhow, let's move on from the fake empathy and it's gonna resurface, you know what I mean, throughout our conversation. I want to you know, go to a comment that I see. Katie, and big up yourself because what you're doing in your community, man. I tell you, she even got an award recently. Shells, we did interview her. You remember, Kadian? That she fed some, you know, people, not only homeless, but people who actually need food. So, Kadian, big up yourself. There's a thin line with this matter as some people curse if you post pictures helping someone, and some say what you're saying now. As Shell says, and maybe Kadian are tuning. Shell said there's nothing wrong with documenting, and showing to inspire. But when it become a reality show, when it become a media spectacle, when it become a thing now where I donate 500,000 to somebody and Gia want outdo me, so Gia come with double that, and then Shells come with one house and one truck, and she have to record it and say, look, I have made my contribution. That's the part we're talking about. Shells now have to come and show say she send the house. I strongly feel like Asafa never have to go to show up himself big time. And Gio said he has contributed a lot of times, but I personally, just my opinion that I don't feel like them supposed to go do that. Them not have to do that. Of course, them see him and do photo of him not have to me, but hey, I feel him think that. But I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Yeah. If you know it will create certain attention, don't do it. So Kadian, yes, some people will cuss, but then again, we're not showing charity for them. We're not showing charity for them. We're showing charity for the people in need. It's a poor relief program that we are running. You are doing something great. You are doing something great. Where you say? She said, I did it. And the lady cursed me out so bad just because I took some pic with some care packages I distributed. Gia said it. Gia said these people still have pride.
Yeah, they have pride. I remember when we go to get the food, the lady turned and I said, go on with it, no sir. I mean, I say, oh, me no have no camera up and nothing, me have the box of food and me and the weird woman. Me feel shame. Me I said, Jesus, please imagine I help the lady. So me did just understand at the point in time that hey, no matter how homeless, whatever the situation may be, some people now want you extend your hand to help them because them pride are gonna tell them otherwise. And so me no want to document the process either because of how me set up my own, me no need to ask nobody for nothing, right? Me no need to ask nobody for nothing again. So when me send money go where it go, and people are cook food and I carry go give wherever them I go, and I carry ties go give wherever I get, me not have to ask where it come from because everybody know where it come from. Me just not have to take no picture no more, and me not have to feel shame again. At least me not out there no more, so but not shouting in my face again. But yeah, it is rough. The woman made me feel like a dog, and I make right out of like what was don't feel like a dog. I was like, damn, like. And I mean, I forced with her clothes. The woman barely in nothing, and me feel lower than her when she said to me. I was like, Jesus.
Because some of them, you know what?
Say it again, Gio.
Yes,
go on with it, no, sir.
All right. To show you how this thing can be a blessing and a curse, right? Because check this out. The mother actually, found herself in a mess right now because of being. And I'm going to segue into politics now, and then we deal with the scamming thing after. The mother, if you notice, Shells, that she's getting a lot of backlash right now. And a lot of people are saying that she's ungrateful. And when I watched the video where they were distributing the cell phones and the clothing items and Nike slippers and all of that to Delano and his mother, I heard something. Shells, and I wondered to myself, and Shaki said she heard it as well, and I wondered to myself, like, yo, the woman has sound a little bit jealous or ungrateful. What I got from it, what I gather from what she's saying is that her son got an expensive cell phone, and she complains that she now on a cell phone. But the way in which she did it, it sounds as if she's complaining, no, so why am I forget cell phone and why me couldn't get a cell phone? No cell phone. Whining. And I'm like, yo, what's up with what? So you see we're sending one cell phone, cars. The next thing I heard that she got a 2-burner gas stove, and her remarks, based on what I heard, me just get one 2-burner stove. Me just get one 2-burner stove. Lady, you were cooking on a coal stove. Remember using coal stove because in my yard when gas done, and then can't afford to buy gas until a couple of days later, Shells, a cheap. I mean, no Gio know any cheap and Shells, you know any cheap. We had cheap off the board.
Hey,
in there.
Andrew. One time I blow them, they call me, because you couldn't find nobody blow coal stove and make fire higher than me. Because they under that and
you see, we come from humble beginnings too. What I'm saying is that you're complaining about that and then have an MP getting in your head. Because the truth is, Gio and Shells and our listeners, it wasn't the MP who first tried to assist them. But you come and make video. I say you don't know where.
Do you think she was being coached?
Yes. Because as Shaki says, certain words where she are used. Me not gonna say she's a dunce woman, but intellectually, she's not at that level to even be using certain words. So I feel like she was coerced in saying whatever she said. And to me, that's very ungrateful because Alex came and he rallied around you. How long now is the MP, the member of parliament for that constituency, Shells or Gio? Can you remember?
But there, point of notice, the MP, that initial MP, is not her constituency. It's Montague's constituency. So even though that has become an issue where it is being clarified as to whose constituency it is and who is responsible for helping the family.
Oh,
so now that Montague has resigned, they're wondering if she's going to take back the mantle of helping the family or not.
So it's a points game. She did it because it looked good politically.
Sometimes I see the stuff online and I have a laugh. Not that they're funny, but you're like, what is this foolishness? Helping the people, let me no matter whose constituency it is. Where's the two who are still on the same boat?
You remember when COVID did just have them locked down in a different place them? When all like politicians them that go give them care package. When the PNP people them did have buckle with them face on it. Like, bro, nobody no need to drink Peter water. Them just need water. When they ask you, just give me the water. I don't need to know you.
Oh, but you can't one side in that. The other side it have for them.
No, them they are doing things too. They are doing things too. But
yeah, so
them ready, you know, brother. Them brand up everything, you know. All the water, yeah. Me all the black olive. But back to the argument, though.
Go back to Kadian's other comment.
Which one?
Kadian, you know, say, go back to Kadian's other comment.
That one?
Right. Where that can be a fact. Like, she's an adult, right? And the children are the ones who are suffering the most. Because, in all honesty, what adult can go drink water and go in bed for them business that we really don't care much. They're human beings, and let me not say, but to put it in context, we would care more about the well-being of the children than the adults. And when you have a parent, especially a mother, no matter how intellectual she is or not, that emotion that she should have, you know, when it comes down to her children, to care about them, and the fact that she's gonna whisper and talk about a cell phone that he would have gotten and sounding ungrateful about certain things. You get a 2-burner stove that would fire a cook and you never have no stove, you know, certain things. It's coming off. I'm agree with her. Maybe the children them forget the blessing and not the mother, but you know, go them a fitness, so somebody will forget it.
Of course. Watch a beat here next. Go on, Gio. Watch you.
You know what the thing is this though, right? The only reason why this happened is because that video went viral. That's all. The video trended, and because I can guarantee you, me don't know which part them live, but me certain say if I drive go anywhere within a 20, maybe say 20-minute drive, east or west, north or south of them house, I go find somebody else where I live exactly like how them I live too.
Exactly.
Which is why the point then becomes, you only did it because the spotlight is in this particular point right here, right now, because it's a story that started to trend.
Right.
And for all of the wrong reasons, it started to trend. Because there are hundreds, thousands maybe, of people who live exactly like that, and you don't see anybody that go rally and say like, hey, this is what we're gonna do. Because at the end of the day, it costs to do these things, right? You can't really say you can't, because the amount of money they have waste in a different budget. You could probably build houses for everybody and make everybody have some.
I agree.
Practically speaking, nobody is going to do it because the material say it costs to do these things. So again, I say, and I remember when we talked about this one a long time ago, I was like, why is nobody taking from all these development funds that exist for the different constituencies and coming up with solutions that are community-based that will continue to give back? And I just know because of this and charity, but I said it before. And it's almost like, and you have to think about it this way now. If you can, me and you, yourself, when I have too much pull, can sit down and think about these options, they can also think about these options. The people who are at the top who can execute on these plans, they can think about it. But it's just that
We just don't care.
they don't care. And this is where the fake empathy comes in. Politicians in Jamaica have no empathy at all. For them, it ends when they hit the podium and make whatever speech they make so that them friend and Kumbolo can go, here, here, and slap desk. And then as soon as them go through the door, they don't think them care about how to come out of the sun quick enough so that them not too sweaty if you go in them vehicle where the same taxpayer money buy and reach at them yard. Because ultimately, for them bread butter on two sides and around the cross, they're no business about, you know?
Look here. Ono look on the screen. This is a young lady that has been doing a give back, a real give back program where she feed homeless people and less fortunate people every week. We no hear her, we no see her become a big thing. A food she give people feed, you know. But watch the comment. Shells, where comment say, come I can't read.
She said, missing people will live all in my community, fly go over there through the hype. And the amount of people were there in the community we want help, house, food, and clothing. I see too. When I used to do like what, 8, I started out of my own pocket like 6 or 8 care packages. And now when me do me do all 50, because if you're going out one, you carry for one person. And when I look for them, neighbor don't have nothing either. Sometimes we get information that the household need, and when you go with one care package, when you look at 8 people living at the one house, don't have it, you have to leave 3 at the one place, because giving them one will only be one night's dinner. And if you look next door where them live, them neighbor live in a mansion. Can more than possible share a banana. Just look down below here. You see, say your neighbor don't have no banana over for them yard, and you have 3 trees in a your yard with a bunch on it. You know, share, but you know.
All right, Tariq. You jumped the gun, Tariq, but we're just gonna highlight this. That's the short-term solution. But we're supposed to come up with a long-term one too. Yeah, a long-term one is the government. I feel them fault. Fix it. Anyhow.
No, but I said it.
Good point, though, Terry. Good point. All right, watch this now. We're up on the politics side right now, right? As Kadian says that a lot of people left from her community go all the way over there, so forget the hype. The dude, the young man, right?
And they were saying, dear.
Let me just bring up this, all right? If you watch the video, he pretty much said, you know, guys, that he said to them, he suggested to them, let us finish this because we started it. A whole lot more people may know than in the community where could benefit from UNO getting involved. Thank you all for getting involved, but go help Miss G and down the road and Ma Stam down the road, and they, according to his account, they said no. They said no. So tell me no, Shells. You don't really want to help people. As Gia said, this sound like a score, you try to score political points, and shame on you, Madam MP, if it is true. I mean, only I say if it is true.
Well, they are not working. Well, I don't know who is working, because I said the constituency was proven to be whose. But eventually he made another video where he said that, you know, they had conversations and they are now working together. So I don't know who is working with, as I said.
That's after the fact.
Yeah, it was after the fact.
Why? Why did I forget to the point where him come and call you out? The young man have to come and call you out. Why?
Because they
why
need
you never
to
say, okay?
All right. When the one family that I highlighted the time, Andrew, when we went to the place we wanted to get an CM estimate business and try to set up how you would build, and the politician them running. One of the morning we were there, we went to do some estimation, and them running with them whoever go take measurement, and up to now not even one nail the family not get. Me I ask you.
Not one.
Both parties running on it. running on it. So
You
me
know
know
the funny
when I
thing
talk
is,
about they don't want to work with you because not one of them step to me and say, all right, so and so and so. Where are you with what? What you have? Let us see what we can put together to work. No. I hope to know them to get a nail. Whatever they got did not come from politics.
Never.
you know what the funny thing is, and this is so for me. Whenever I hear this, this is when I'm like, all right, no, you know what? Even if it means that somebody will get help, me never care no more. We are committed, and the People's National Party is committed to ensuring that no, I hear that. Nobody never call you down there for a campaign moment. The People's National Party, who gives a crap? Everybody there know that as much as I'm not in a power no more, everybody there know that bread butter too. Like, stop doing that. Stop running down there because you need a moment so that you can have a real, because when, I don't know when I have next one, or the next time my election I go run, certain say I go see video clippings from after that, the man I lift a block, I put it on one pile to say, we build houses.
Right.
Them way before, them promise on 70,000, them never about. We went down there and we gave that young man one. We can just see it in my mind already. It's like, I spend too much time on politics, but me can hear the slogan, them come out left, right, and center because them ready now waiting for the moment we can say what they did when they did it. Like, I am so tired of that. It does make me feel sick. Like, really, Memphis, you know the worst part about it? There are grants that are available for all of these different social enterprises and whatnot where people are trying to kick off that people could readily apply for so that them can get these monies and do the things that they say they're trying to do. But I can guarantee you that if people even made the application for the grant, them still wouldn't qualify. They wouldn't pass. They wouldn't pass because they would have find so many different reasons to limit you, to say why you can't get it. But me can tell you because me see it for myself right when people are going a place and I write fake name and a bad date document for call $200,000 for things will never happen. Never happen none at all. So we know say the money dead. I just let them pick, choose, and refuse who them want get it when them want them get it so them can say, yeah, my friend them all right. Tired of the politics behind them things. I was like, bring me back to when they do the debates and them ask Peter Phillips about if he will entertain, terms of service to civil servants. And Bossy answered the question that came before it, but then sidestepped part B to the question because he did not want her to mention that. And me feel like say a full-time now where no matter who the hell you be and when how long you did it, if you're going there where you say they're gonna do, you never gonna do, there should be a clause that will say yes, you resign, somebody else goes in so that nobody can complain about the corruption, because if you'd cycle through real people to make the systems them try work, would have changed. Would have changed already.
Yo, an interesting comment right here, Shells. Did she say that they tried to run competition with her as well? Is it that what the thing is saying?
Yeah. And in all honesty, sometimes you want to step back from these things because the politics that comes with it from the politicians, it makes you wonder like, I am just a little person. Nobody knows me, trying to help one little family in all of the place. The entire parish, that just one little family right there. So at the time, I'm trying to help. And when I run in on the thing and I make it look like whatever, so you step back and you say, no, them people are serious, man. Them serious, all because what happened? A media house took it up and it came on the news. Make them look bad. They don't want to look bad. And that's the problem. Them don't want to look bad. Them don't want to step on the news say, hey, this person in my constituency can't find food to eat. And they know. It's not like them don't know, because when you talk to these families, they'll tell you that they talk to politicians.
That's just
all the time.
When me hear say the member of parliament, and thank you for the update that she's not actually the member of parliament, but when me hear a MP stepping in, and even the leader of the opposition stepping in to say, oh, his board and tuition is paid in full for the time that he'll be attending case. And as a matter of fact, Gio, what's funny about it is that I challenge myself to try and know the acronym for case. And this man having to look at a script. If you watch the video with this man, you can see that he's looking. I'm going to find the video for you. But anyhow, how much more Pitney in Jamaica want get bored and institution and tuition?
How much more Pitney in Jamaica
Andrew,
in that case?
stick up in. It's they. When I see the statement that came from Case, it did not say that they were the persons who paid for it.
Right, true.
They didn't pay for his room and board and whatever. If I can recall from memory, the statement that went out. No, and they'll come in and pay for it.
Here we go on. The labor right group them kind of rubbish that. And I think I saw that because when we first heard the story, it would look as if Mark, and I'm trying to find, all right, here we go. I'm trying to find
to
this.
confirm that the
No, not that. I'm trying to find this is a video. Okay. See, he was responding to somebody's tweet, I think, or Facebook that. And he says, found him. I've spoken to his principal and I will be taking care. I can't really see. Hold on. Let me shift my screen. And I'll be taking care of his education. You know what he says? I will be taking care of his education / school fees at Case. Thanks for tagging. So Shells, I don't know. So the school are telling lie then, or somebody telling lies? Because this is Mark's
That's not the entirety of the story. I'm gonna see if I can find it, but that's not the entirety of the story.
No. I get it. I'm just saying, why you pick this one student and they're a whole lot more out there. How long now this young man wanted to go to Case? How long now this young man was living in such, he and his family living in such destitute situation? How long? You are telling me, say, you know, go around as the MP or these people to find out, oh, they can't read for everybody. But why pick and choose? Just like the students in Ukraine. Hold on, Gio. Just like the students that left Ukraine, that he says that he and his friends are going to foot the bill for their therapy. You know much youth in Akiwak and Jacksontown and Kaman in a Carl Samuda constituency. How much youth off a beer farm road and down a jungle and ream and water and Callaloo bed and Riverton City want therapy. Oh, but because these are the la creme de la creme and they are, you know, top doctors to be and what? You know, so them youth they want to go helping and they get to could become doctors to be too. Shells, you find the story? Because I'm going to find.
Yes. It says that the Jamaica 4-H clubs have pledged to support Delano Tucker. And I think that's where the story had came from when it was highlighted through the statement that I saw at Case, is that the 4-H club was very much a part of it.
Right. But how true could this statement?
I don't want to read everything, so I'm just going through it. So as we go along, I will let you know.
But yeah, I'm just trying to see how this argument have come up then. I really don't get it. How this argument have come up now. I really don't get it. And that's what we're talking about, guys. So the female MP who after the fact, we now only beat Sir Mark alone and we never mean physically beat him.
So the scholarship it's from the 4-H club. It offers assistance for students starting at the high school level, and it says the scholarship program they have it in place now for over 10 years, and it helps students like Delano. So they will take care of his tuition and even lunch.
So why you needed this man to come and say this? Why Mark had to come and say this though? Listen.
Good morning, Ron, Joshua, and the many others who have tagged me on social media in the videos about Delano Tucker. I have reached out to the principal of his high school, Guise High School, and also we have reached the administration of CASE, that's the College of Agriculture, Science and Education. And I'm happy to confirm that Delano's tuition on board for the full duration of his studies there will be taken care of. We've also been looking at trying to help with the housing situation. Food for the Poor visited there this morning, and I believe that a new house will be built for them in due course. We will also be doing an assessment of the house to see what we can do in the interim to make it more comfortable for them. And for example, we've already sourced a stove, a new stove, which can be put in the new house when it is built. In terms of his mom's foot, I have reached out to a friend of mine who's a consultant orthopedic specialist, and he has agreed to see her. So hopefully she will take up that offer and we'll be able to sort out the problem with the foot.
All right. Good Samaritan, Mark. Kudos. I don't think we needed all of that, though.
And we're happy that he has stepped up to help. You know, nothing wrong if him said it. It's the same thing with it. Hold on. It's the same thing with the student them over. Wait, but Andrew.
Hold on, man. We're not playing that, Shells. We're not playing that. We're not playing. No help, nothing. Food for the poor, got there. Alex, them done a mark out foundation already. The MP, the female MP jump in and say she send hope that a representative from the government. When we look what one PMP representative based on the video when we play earlier to say he was sent by the PMP to make sure that everything is good. And we see them I put a plyboard as a ceiling. So we never need Mark to come tell we say case accepted him because of the 4-H club. We didn't need the MP to come and say they are going to build foundation. Miss Carencia, whatever her last name is, Morrison or whatever. We never needed all of that. Because Alex and his guys were already doing it. Even the iPhone 13 sender, they were doing it. Even a Salva Powell was doing it. We never need all of this. So, Shells, go ahead. I just wanted to put that in. I'm sorry to cut you, my sister. Hold on, Gia. Make sure.
I'm just saying that even if he's gonna contribute in that kind of way, we can't knock it. But as you said, it's not something that should be done because somebody's running with a story about a young man in a destitute condition. Then you're going to run in panic. Because even if other entities are helping, so Mark is helping to pay his fees, and other entities are helping to pay his fees. We don't know how it goes. I'm not certain because he's getting scholarship from other entities who saw his story. He's been helped where that is possible. So I see him where them are running for them. Same thing with the student, them are foreign. You know, so the help are come in whatever way it can come. We're happy for that. Continue for help here, Mark. Yeah, man.
I'm telling you, like, sometimes them thing I just
I'm about to run out of here. We have 4 minutes, real quick.
Sometimes them thing I just give me an itch. I feel like I just be a bad old one, cause like, you know why me I knock it? I perfect. Like me never see something that him do it for social media. He did it in his office chair with a picture of Nelson Mandela and Michael Manley behind. Like even that, the fact that you don't know what case mean, are you older than me? And you don't know what case mean? Me know what I hear from. Me know what I hear from you. Don't go there. Me know what I hear from you. Yeah, like back up.
What stood out to me too. The man of look glance over at his computer screen or whatever, and when he couldn't remember education, you know how we learn to publicly speak. Pro FX and the Jamaica.
Exactly, you put that all
maybe because them all may remember cast, right? And not case. So just stay with him. That's why I'm a look because he remember when it was cast and now it's case, so I have to make sure and double check and say the right thing. What I beat the man for?
Right. So
or UTEC, because remember UTEC was once cast.
Hey. Well, there is that. But you know the funny thing is though. With all of the people who are focusing attention on the one family, who has said, hey, why don't we run a canvas to see who else is out there that we can help? Because obviously nobody now think long term, like how we there as a cinema think, how can we help the community and not just one family? So it's like, me guarantee you say, when they land them house done build, everybody else within a 500-meter radius, so have a pop down house too, I got us dead. In a frame pop down house to a hope say somebody come video them one day.
Hope, exactly, Gio. And if them not come, it not go dead. It's right in your face. Nicole, good question. Will Mark assist Alex to go back to school? Because I hear that he's not attending school. He wants to become a YouTuber. Can't blame him neither, because him start make fee money. Hey, can't blame him. But education is key though. Better, know say you can read and write and be firm up in the heavens. That's good. All right, the scamming part now, real quick, because in all honesty, I think all of this is white collar scamming. I feel like, when you do this to get the clout and the attention and to gain political points, and then now some people use these opportunities to pretty much open an account and start GoFundMe, and Gio start film one GoFundMe and say, oh, may I do it on behalf of Delano. That's where scamming come in, because guess what? It is unregulated. It is open, and everybody and their mother can start a charity, and then the government no question it. I'm not saying anything is wrong with that, but that's what breeds corruption. So until we be very careful as to what we're doing, I feel like it is better to give kind as opposed to cash. Listen to why I say that, because I shall say, rather you use the money where I go send to me. If it's so-called do XYZ, I better you buy the food, come give me, or buy the fall, come give me. Buy what I need and give it to me. Because if me give Gio the money figure you, Gio can squeeze $1,000 or $2,000 out of that money. And that's where the thieving and the scamming comes in, and the greed. And then Gio say, oh, this can work. Then him start fee one program. Guys, make we do it for the love and not for the likes. Let's kick pseudo/fake empathy out the window. It simply means that you heard of someone's situation and you pretend that you care. But you give to get. You give to get the attention and the likes. And I'm not saying don't document whenever you make a contribution, but to put it back on social media, no, I don't agree with every contribution should be broadcasted in the media. Those are my closing arguments. Gio, 10 seconds, closing argument. Then we go to Shells because we're out of time.
I think it was very well said. I'm just going to leave it there. Make Shells get the last word. Take my 10 seconds, Shell.
All right. Shells has been...
All right, so 10 seconds, maybe we can say that 10 seconds. I admire Alex. I like the young man, and I hope that he continues to do what he's going to do, and know that being in charity will come with a lot of backlash. A lot of people call you thief, call you criminal, and they will try to tear you down so bad. You won't be, you have to have a strong backbone. I also hope that somebody helps him to get back into school, because we know a lot of people get rich and them not even done high school. But if it is his wish to go back to school, then someone will help him too, because he has a good heart and you can see it, beneath all of that. Also, I think Tariq had said something about putting things in place that will empower people. But some of these people are indigent, they are shut-ins, some are disabled, some are old, some are trying, but they are not making it because they're earning below the minimum wage. And those people, yes, you want to give them, but they're not. Some are not able to work, like the older, the elderly, they are not able to come out of their houses to work. How do we continue to help those? Because me wish, Andrew, if me could do one care package every month, but making 50 care packages, me can't get out of my pocket. Not right. With what I went through recently, and that's the issue, because giving these people care packages like 3 times for the year or 4 times for the year is not enough, because they're all there alone. So I'm saying to our people, help your people, your family member, your relatives. Some people have said, iPhone can get Alex, and then people down here are dead for hungry. We know, because you don't help them in the right way. We know no found no help, and them not deserve the help because them squander or whatever. We're not talking about those. We're talking about those that will send to charity and not help them own. So look out for your elderly people, for your disabled people, for those who are not managing because they need it. Go wash for them. Go cook something for them. Take them a meal, because a whole heap of people are suffer more than when me and Kadian can help Andrew. So I understand where Tarka come from, and we need to do better to help those who are earning below minimum wage and those who work really, really hard and still can't meet the ends. And that is something that we need to discuss on another occasion,
Thank you. Definitely. Thank you, Shells. Big respect. All right, cool. All right, in closing, I want to just address this topic. So, I beg you 2 more minutes, real quick. Cardella Simpson, I think based on what I've heard, they are actually, he and his sister, they're on the PATH program. And I think the father works at the school. And I'm saying this is not, I'm not saying this is a fact. I think the dad works $18,000 every fortnight, and they're on the PATH program. So with that PATH money coming in, plus what the father is working, a lot of people are saying that yes, they are poor, but I think they kind of exaggerate to the story with the onion and the garlic and all of that. I am not their neighbor, and I don't live in that household to say that is what the father is bringing in. But there is argument circulating on social media that there is an income. But if he's not on PATH, get him on PATH. But then again, the case, schooling, the tertiary fees have been paid, boarding have been covered. So therefore, Delano is on, a good path. And I hope the same will be for his sister. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. On behalf of Shells, Gio, and myself and Hype TV in Jamaica, we want to say thank you for watching another episode of VVL Podcast. If this is your first time tuning in, I encourage you to follow me on Facebook and also send us hit the post notification bell after you subscribe. Thank you so much for participating. Thank you guys so much. Kadian, Tanet, Cardella, Tariq, my brother, big up yourself. Queen Shaka, see you, Nicole, all the comments. I don't want to start calling names because sometimes I get lost in that, but thank you guys. Pia, thank you. All right, cool guys. So see y'all next week, same time, same place, when we bring you another episode of VAL'S Views Live. Peace. I'm out of here. Until next week, walk good. Walk good, my family. Walk good.
Public.